No intro today. Lefties are losing it. At least that is what they said over here on Sky News Australia. Sky News Australia did an entire segment talking about Katy Perry having a complete meltdown, and also did a special segment on Hasan Piker, everyone's favorite large leftist political streamer. It's gonna be a pretty awesome, glorious time because we have a second news site that also covered everyone's favorite large leftist political streamer. The New York Times wrote a special article glazing Hasan Piker at the same time as Sky News Australia made a mini hit piece on Hasan Piker, and apparently, according to my comment section, used a lot of my talking points from the worldly beloved, critically acclaimed, universally appreciated How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise, possibly history's most beloved franchise on the history of YouTube. I know, everyone loves it. Everyone appreciates it. It's unanimous at this point. So, first we're going to look at the absolute state of the New York Times, and then we're going to look at Lefties losing it over on Australian news when they make fun of Katy Perry's meltdowns and Hasan Piker's meltdowns, and we have a lot to see. Also, Hasan supported Hamas terrorists again. Bro, we're 1,000% cooked is when he's deported, so it's going to be great. All right, lock in, boys and girl. It's going to be a bumpy ride today. It's going to be crazy. All right, a progressive mind in a MAGA body, says the New York Times. Hasan Piker pumps iron, likes weapons, doesn't own any, aside from, swastika swords, and wears pearls. His brand of masculinity has been a useful vehicle for his politics. The reason why this is hilarious, that the Turkish Muslim wears pearls and pumps iron and smokes weed, is the fact that he is not some sort of progressive guy. He is a pro-terrorist, as everyone knows if they've watched the How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise, truly one of history's most pivotal works in this trying time. Now, the irony is, not only does this just basically mean the New York Times is essentially supporting terrorists, either they don't know, or they do know, but essentially, that's what's happening right now. What else is happening right now is, it's so funny that they're just openly admitting that Hasan's purpose is to be a conventionally attractive person for the ugly, dysgenic gender to launder their politics through. It's like they recognize that he is a completely useless man that has absolutely zero relatable or positive traits, zero critical political analysis in anything he covers. This is not only Hasan Piker, the supporter of terrorists. Not only is he Hasan Piker, the person that tried to incite his audience to murder senators of the United States more than once. And not only is this Hasan Piker, the guy that straight up, unironically, said on his stream that Russia will never invade Ukraine about a week before Russia invaded Ukraine. But the craziest part is the New York Times is essentially saying that all people on the left are ugly retards. And the only reason why they like Hasan is that Hasan is maybe a retard, but at least he's not ugly. This has got to be one of the biggest self-owns I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm telling you, I am enjoying it more than you think. Yeah, the Nux analysis, you'll never get this anywhere else. I'm doing this for the people. We need to make sure everyone enjoys today's 40-minute roast session. All right, so anyway, looking a little deeper, this is the MAGA body that we're talking about. All right, this is his MAGA body. All right, check this out. All right, so this is Hasan Piker over here, terrorist supporter extraordinaire, lover of terrorists, hater of Jews, the pro, the goat himself. Check this out. Ah! The MAGA body, baby. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Woo! He really showed them. He got him. No one is impressed. Zero people impressed. Might have been the gayest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
I've got an hour of triceps.
Look, no one even has nothing to say. W bag work. Nicely done. Check it out. He did it a second time. Mr. President, the second gay kick has hit the punching bag.
Oh.
All right, don't worry.
What happened?
Oh, he's working out. Look at him in his pink underwear. Damn.
I killed him. He's dead now. He's Perry.
And he's out of breath. Anyway, this was a good example of the MAGA body. Truly, look, I wouldn't normally roast another man's physique as a man behind a VTuber avatar or anything, but like, bro, the MAGA body out here, really, bro? You're trying so hard? Yeah, so anyway, we've seen enough. Lock in, boys and girl. It's time for Lefties Losing It on Sky News Australia. Apparently, they dedicated an entire segment to Hasan. My comment section was flooded with this, so log in, boys and girl. It's going to be awesome.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and
100%.
let's start with a musical flavour. And it seems that leftism destroys everything. Even the biggest superstars like Beyonce and Katy Perry have become figures of ridicule in
1 week on leftism.
2025. Let's start with Katy, who, fresh from pretending to be an astronaut, is now being...
True! I skipped the whole astronaut saga. Everyone was talking about that. You got Oompaville talking about astronaut conspiracy theories. All right, we got all sorts of people saying that it did happen, that it didn't happen, that it's cool, that it's girl boss. And my personal favorite take of the entire astronaut saga, Candace Owens, who said that, well, obviously it's fake because space isn't real and Jews invented space to trick Christians into not believing in God. Easily my favorite take of the entire astronaut saga.
Mocked for her cringe performance in her latest concert tour.
Oh, God, what is that? Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. This is my brain. 1 week on leftism. What is happening? This is the worst thing I've ever... This is Katy Perry? Like Katy Perry? Like one of the most famous pop stars of all time? No. Oh. What a horrible day to have eyes. What was that?
Did she leave any discernible talent she had in space? I mean, imagine paying good money to see this.
Oh, God, it doesn't stop. Oh, no. Go, oh. Okay, you've got to be... This has to be trolling. Like, this has to be some Yeah, this absolutely has to be some sort of marketing stunt. Trolling. There's no way. Your head pops up. No! Oh, God. That might have been the worst thing I've ever seen. Major VTuber drama happening right now as we're speaking. Wow. Oh, my God, dude. The satanic pedophiles got to her. It's over. It's over. I cannot believe this happened. She's 40? No. 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 Oh, God. This is unbelievable. How does this even happen?
Now, she never had much of a voice, but
choreography by JoJo Siwa.
That's how she dances nowadays. I think we can give the concert a miss. You can't auto-tune whatever that was. Now, I do wonder, where did it all go so wrong for Katy? Perhaps it was on election eve last November when she posted this.
Hi, guys. I'm with one of my favorite senators. This is Kamala Harris. She's...
Oh, my God, dude, it's crazy. The Kamala Harris to downfall broken timeline is crazy. Look at this pipeline. Meet Kamala Harris at the top of your career. Instant death. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. The reverse karma. She was tainted, bro. It's
gonna be, well.
Or perhaps...
Yeah, she tried her best to promote the satanic pedophile cult, but unfortunately it didn't work out, and they've discarded her.
It all went pear-shaped when she
woke a little too close to the sun. God, this is pathetic.
Posted this on election day. It's her and Orlando Bloom chumming it up with Kamala and Doug.
Dude, that fake exclamation face, that is so annoying.
Chumming it up with Kamala and Doug.
Dude, I love it. Oh my God. That is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my God. It's crazy. Kamala out here siphoned the girl boss out of Katy Perry like a woke vampire. Like literally sucked the woke life force out of her. That's insane.
Oh dear, now poor Katie is reduced to a punchline, and she's not alone. Pop stars don't come much bigger than Beyonce.
True.
But then she went all Kamala on us. Remember that woeful speech she gave at a Kamala rally when people thought she was going to perform? They thought they were going to get a free concert. Instead, they heard Beyonce mention a bunch of suburbs in Texas.
Oh, God.
Texans and Houstonians from 3rd Ward.
Damn. She knows the names of some cities. That is a girl that knows what's up.
Oaks, Sugarland, 5th Ward, A-Leaf, Memorial.
Remember when Kamala Harris lost the election? That was good.
Southwest side, north side,
All of the teleprompter sign.
all the way down to most cities.
And now no one wants to go to her concerts. Daily Mail's headline
really?
reads, Beyonce mercilessly mocked as tickets for flop.
Bro, go woke, go broke. It's crazy. It's in the blood. It's insane. It is the ultimate turnoff of all time. Bro, Beyonce and Katy Perry, both absolute downfall. This is crazy to witness. Oh my God.
Flop Cowboy Carter tour reached the same price as a McDonald's meal. Yes, she slashed ticket prices by more than 70% and still having trouble moving them.
Yikes. Yikes. 70% off tickets and still couldn't fill the arena. Ugh. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that I have to. This is too good. Too good to pass up. I'm sorry. That just has to happen.
Now, to round up our little musical interlude, let's check in with these charmers. I played this clip for you when it happened. Here is Kneecap at Coachella singing Maggie is in a Box, a song about the late, great Margaret Thatcher.
This is painful.
Well, they've gone from that degeneracy to this. Now Kneecap are openly praising the savage mass murdering terrorists of Hamas.
Every time. It's crazy. It's the tolerant left to terrorist supporting pipeline. I don't understand how this even happens. Like, it's crazy and mind-boggling. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, this is crazy. Hasan's favorite band really putting out. Bro.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, these are like mass murdering, rapist, terrorist pieces of garbage. Like, it is unbelievable how brain broken the tolerant left has become. Like, dude, they are anti-American to their core. It's crazy.
You heard right. They just praise Hezbollah and Hamas.
Yeah, known for not only murdering civilians of other countries, but murdering their own civilians. Beating and murdering their own people and leaving them at the doorsteps of their families to send political messages. You know that Palestinians were protesting in Gaza and Hamas murdered the Palestinians in Gaza and left their bodies on their families' doorsteps. You know, Hezbollah contributed to the murder of 500,000 people in Syria. Like, these are unbelievable monsters. It's crazy that somehow the tolerant left in America finds an excuse to glaze them.
And they have the simpletons at a music festival cheering for the type of people who slaughtered youngsters just like them at the Nova Music Festival.
The Palestinians have nowhere to go. It's their fucking home, and they're bombing them from the skies. If you're not...
Who started this war? I'm just trying to, wrap my mind around it. What's going on?
Calling it a genocide? What the fuck are you calling it?
Now, if the left didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. And here
that is a crazy line. Oh my, I am stealing that. That is a crazy line.
is another prime example. This is Andrew Wieserman claiming that Trump being targeted with bogus charges in a shocking case of lawfare. Well, that was a great day for America because it proved no one is above the law.
True.
But when an activist judge breaks real laws, well, their arrest is...
It's crazy. Oh, you can't stop winning, man. I don't understand. For some reason, the left finds new reasons to become unlikable. And for some reason, judges that break the law are getting arrested. What a sad day. We're at the judges getting arrested level of fascism now. Am I right, guys?
Is a violation.
He is being treated no better or
I love this clip so much.
worse
I covered this in my video like 2-3 days ago.
than anyone else. This is not selective prosecution. That this is not somebody who's singled out. That he is being treated just like anyone else. That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is.
No one is above the law. He's so right. When Trump was arrested, he was so right. He was spitting straight facts.
That's what the Justice Department is really signaling and messaging here, is that everyone will be treated, as Merrick Garland has said, as
so right.
Equally
He's
in this
so
country.
right,
this is
bro.
really a great day for America. So
great
there
day.
has been a violation here that we.
What do you mean violation? There was a judge that broke the law. Not only was he harboring criminals, but he allegedly destroyed evidence, gave them weapons, and hid them from ICE. What do you mean? I don't understand.
know for sure. And it is not the judge. Right, exactly.
Oh my God. When Trump is arrested, this is a good day for the law. When the judge is arrested, I cannot believe the amount of fascism that's happening right now. Oh my God. I'm literally dying from the hypocrisy. It's insanity.
You don't do it. Even if you.
You don't do it. Why would you arrest a judge? All right. Let's say the judge was a rapist, pedophile, murderer. I still think you shouldn't arrest him. He's a judge, goddammit. He makes the law. He is the law. What do you mean? Arresting a judge? That's incredible. Laws aren't for judges. It's for other people. You see, if Trump really wanted power after becoming president, instead of running for his third term, he should try his hand at becoming a small Obama district-appointed judge in Milwaukee. Maybe then he'll have some real power.
Thought that there was a ground for doing this. The judgment call that you thought that this is the case to bring, it tells you everything. There is no adult in the room who would have said, "Are you kidding me?"
Bro, what are we talking about? This is a judge that harbored a terrorist, or an actual Trendiaragua member in their own house, okay? Hid them from ICE, gave them weapons, destroyed evidence, smashed their cell phone with his own hands, allegedly, and threw it in a public garbage bin that was later found. What are we even talking about?
Why would you possibly do this? And the answer is because we want to send a signal to the judiciary. And that's what you shouldn't be doing.
What an unbelievably retarded take. His programming must be flawed. It is insane. When you see this person literally saying these things, it completely breaks you. There is no defense of someone that flip-flops that hard. It is unreal.
And isn't it?
Also, Trump absolutely does want to send a message. If you're a judge and you're harboring criminals and you're doing crimes, you should get arrested, as you should. 100%. No one's above the law, to quote my favorite leftists in 2020.
Funny how the notion that nobody is above the law disappears when leftist activists...
No. It's called Schrodinger's legal system, all right? I only want the legal system to be applied when it's against my political adversaries, okay? It's Schrodinger's legal system. Bro's out there with flaccid spine syndrome trying his very best to sit upright and not just completely crumple over.
Judges break laws. And these are real laws, not trumped-up charges used to stop a political candidate from winning office.
You know, dude literally harbored a terrorist. Like, what are we talking about?
Remember when Russian collusion hoaxer Rachel Maddow was all about no individual being above the law?
Oh.
Wonder what's changed.
Ooh, I didn't see this clip. That's a good one.
But he's above the law. We only have one system of law for everyone. Nothing about being an elected official gives you a license to commit crimes.
God, she's so right. She's so right.
Or a license to get away with it if you do. Why step up politically and defend a judge or a prosecutor? That's supposed to be a non-political part of our system. It's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible. And
it is so terrible. Imagine arresting a judge that's a criminal. This is crazy.
it is terrible.
I feel like the funniest thing is, if you want to destroy like a right-wing politician, you got to do some digging, find out their private life. All right, if it turns out that there's some anti-gay senator that ended up being secretly gay behind the scenes, yeah, that'll destroy him. It's over. All right, you do some digging, you get a PI, you find some crap out, bro, you cook him. When it comes to like the left, You literally just need a side-by-side talking about Trump versus talking about literally anyone else on the planet. Like, it is insane. Rita Repulsa over here had the worst take of all time.
Terrible. He really did have a judge arrested today.
A judge arrested. My God. This is like 400% fascism right now.
Arresting a judge today. Are you kidding me?
I'm crying. I am crying and pissing in my pants right now. A judge arrested for being a criminal? Oh, what has America come to? I thought our elected politicians on the Democratic side were untouchable.
And why was Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan arrested by the FBI?
Because he was harboring like 3 Maryland men in his house.
Now, this is the part of the story that Rachel Maddow failed to tell her audience. Let's hear from Attorney General Pam Bondi.
This guy was in court being...
it's the other case of the judge harboring a criminal. By the way, in case you're unaware, there are currently 2 judges that were arrested, both of them harboring terrorists. In case you are unaware,
prosecuted
allegedly.
By a state prosecutor for domestic violence battery. He had beat up 2 people, a guy and a girl, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. And John, you know, it's so rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy.
Yeah, and also, she's fat. Anyway.
Been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court, judge finds out, she goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers, she's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom, you're not going to believe this, takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Joining me now.
That's the craziest story you've ever heard. That is like unbelievably, completely and utterly indefensible. There is no possible way to defend something like this. There is no possible way to defend something like this. Like, this is not only a person that took someone that needed to be deported and basically let them onto the street to commit more crimes. Also, apparently, it caused a police chase down where they had to chase him down on foot, more likely to actually cause collateral damage. But also, she is so fat. I mean, also, she broke every law in regards to being a judge you could possibly be. A judge's job is to uphold the law, not hold up lots of donuts to her fat face. I mean, again, not to break laws for the sake of political activism is what I meant to say. This is awful. It's so bad. It's indefensible. I covered this in a previous video, so I'm not going to get into like my whole conspiracy theory deep dive onto why these judges are risking their careers and lifestyles in order to literally protect terrorists and criminals.
Now is Newsweek's senior editor-at-large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, the leftist media is actually pushing...
All right, when are we getting to the Hasan part? Everyone told me that Hasan is getting a special segment on Lefties losing it. All right, this is important.
The narrative that these arrests are sinister, they're politically motivated. They seem to think that these leftist judges are above the law. They can obstruct justice, they can hide offenders.
True.
Rita, you know, Rachel Maddow is one thing, but I mean, seriously, how many times for the past 2 years do we hear leftist media talking heads, leftist lawyers, Democratic senators?
I mean, didn't they arrest all of Trump's lawyers? Like, isn't that a thing that they did? Oh, God. Like, what are we talking about, man? These people, they're such crooks. Like, they're not even good at being crooks. They're, like, bad at being crooks, too. Like, they're, like, lame supervillains.
Congressman Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they all said this over and over and over again. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. Oh, wait, yeah, no one
is above the law except every single person in Biden's family who got a presidential pardon. They are above the law, actually.
is above the law until it's a sympathetic Democrat judge trying to harbor an illegal alien's escape. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Don't worry, guys, because the senator that went to El Salvador will definitely be visiting these judges in prison. Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, I literally, like...
Look at mainstream news trying their absolute best to keep up with this VTuber's commentary. How lame, huh? Come on, it's over.
These people are just systemically incapable of anything remotely resembling intellectual consistency. I mean, it literally is what is good for the goose is apparently not good for the gander. Now, I happen to agree with Rachel Maddow in those first two clips. I agree that no one is above the law.
True.
I happen to disagree with her on what the law is.
Also true.
As it applied to, for example, Donald Trump and these 4 prosecutions.
I mean, dude, this dude's spitting. I don't know who this guy is, but he's spitting.
But in this particular case, the case of this state judge in Wisconsin this is constitutional law 101.
Yeah, no. These are not the same. One is like different interpretations of laws and legalisms and trying your best to find excuses and dirt on your political enemies. All right, that's what went on with Trump. All right. This is literally a terrorist that the judges hid in their basement. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? That's insanity. But don't worry, guys. You want to know the best take on this entire thing? I'm going to show it to you one more time. I showed it to you in the past, but I have to show it to you again. You ready? All right. So this is describing this incredibly obese, overweight judge who is in prison now because she literally was hiding actual criminals from ICE and helping them escape. All right. Obviously, some pretty evil stuff. That definitely deserving of that. You ready to hear the Hasan take? Are you ready?
Remember, guns, anyone who is illegally in this country, we will come after you.
Bro, this is literally, I can smell that you are harboring Jews in the floorboards type, okay? This is straight up Inglorious Bastards. Oh my God, dude.
That might be the worst take in the history of time. That might be the worst take ever. He's saying that the judges hiding terrorists in their house is the same as the nice Germans that hid Jews under their floorboards during the Holocaust. There is no world where that comparison makes sense. Like, you can break that comparison apart and, you know, the Jews in Germany were not illegal there. They were also not terrorists. They were genocided because there was a Holocaust. I mean, what are we even talking about here? Like, this is unbelievable. Like, what are we talking about? So anyway, that's Hasan's worst take of all time, maybe, possibly. But I didn't see anyone else cover it, to be honest. This is some Nuxanor exclusive Hasan coverage, only here on the How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise.
Stuff, Rita. The Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution is very clear. Federal law is supreme over state law. If federal law says you're an illegal alien, you got to get out, and the state judge is trying to undermine that state judge has to be arrested. And thank God that's what happened.
Honestly, and should also be immediately disbarred. If a state judge is breaking the law like this, they should absolutely lose their judge license. Without a doubt. Like, this isn't even a question. It's like if a state law it turns out to be some sort of pedophile murder or whatever. Or secretly breaking pedophiles out of prisons on their days off. Reverse Batman. I mean, for this judge, it wouldn't work specifically because this judge's got that Snorlax build. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Trump did vow to tackle this two-tier justice system. This was part of the election campaign. But we're still seeing cases, and this one involving Tim Walz's employee, Minnesota government employee Dylan Bryan Adams, is another example. This guy was caught on
keying Teslas.
tape. There's extensive video of
that. There is a domestic terrorist, in my opinion.
He vandalizing Teslas, causing around $20,000 in damage.
Damn, that's crazy. First of all, pay back all that damage. Second of all, keep him off the streets. It's unacceptable.
Well, he won't be facing jail because the progressive district attorney in that state is declining to charge him. Yes,
Dude, this is criminal. This is a two-tier system. America is a two-tier system. What is even going on? There's the upper class, everyone who's on the left committing acts of terrorism, and then there's the lower class, anyone that is not literally a domestic terrorist. This is insane. No one I know has a support system like a leftist guy promoting terrorism or instigating domestic terrorism. I don't know any of them. Welcome to the two-tier system. They didn't even punish this guy. They literally caught him on camera doing over $20,000 in damages, and they just were like, yeah, whatever, we'll let him go. What does the law mean to any of these people?
She looks exactly as you'd expect her to look, Josh. The local police chief has called this decision to opt for a diversion rather than criminal charges, a betrayal of victims. Now, this is just one case.
It's not just a betrayal of victims. It's a betrayal of justice. It really is.
Yes, but we see these sort of instances over and over again.
Yeah, nothing says progressivism in America in the year 2025 like someone who looks like that with that particular haircut and that very white, pale skin tone wearing a Black Defenders Matter t-shirt, right? I mean, literally nothing, I think, encapsulates and underscores the utter ridiculousness that is the identity politics, intersectionality, obsessed modern American left than that image right there. But again, these people have no interest in anything remotely resembling the neutral enforcement of the rule of law. They are the original pioneers of reward my friends and punish my enemies by any means possible. And
these people are the antithesis to American culture. Like, and like a cancer, it's got to get excised. It has got to get removed.
See that play out time and time again. The Rachel Maddow clip, as it applies this notion that no one is above the law, is one thing there. But this scofflaw in Minnesota, and by the way, color me surprised, really. I mean, color me surprised that this is happening in Tim Walz' Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not just a matter of Tim Walz or not Tim Walz. I mean, this is obviously a case of a judge breaking the law for the sake of some sort of political activism, and that should not be legal. Judges can't just break laws and decide what laws they want to enforce with no actual backing in the legal rubric of America. Like, it's insane. It's crazy.
Tim Walz, Minnesota.
I feel like any judge that basically judges a specific case obviously wrongly, and so obviously wrongly it's done for activism purposes, I think that judge should probably be punished for the crime that he's trying to get the other guy off. I feel like that's appropriate. Like, it's insane. It's insane. What's the purpose of having a judge?
It was ground zero of the St. George Floyd riots back in May and into June and July of the summer of 2020. There, Tim Walz was the one who let what could have been a small contained fire erupt into a nationwide great conflagration. And now it's happening here when it comes to the so-called Tesla takedown, this latest form of leftist anarchy and political violence there.
It is political violence. I would go as far as to say it's domestic terrorism. Mostly peaceful arson.
None of this story surprises me. The fact that the prosecutor looks like that, the fact that this is taking place in Tim Walz's backyard, the fact that Elon Musk Tesla's involved.
That's why we call him Tampon Tim, ladies and gentlemen.
This one story, in many ways, Rita, I think completely underscores everything that is wrong with the current American political left. And it kind of reminds me, a lot of folks here in the United States are making a big fuss of the fact that a couple of polls have been trending downward over the past couple of weeks for Donald Trump. But what they're not telling you is that if you look in the second and third paragraph of most of these pollsters' articles, they will still note that Donald Trump is still more trusted and more popular than the Democrats.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's not even close. It's not even close. The Democrats right now have a 21% approval rating. I've never seen something so pathetic in my entire life.
The reason for that is for stuff like this.
Absolutely. Now, Josh, to the shocking tragedy that saw the loss of more than 60 lives when a Black Hawk helicopter...
God damn, I wanted to cover this also. Oh my God, they're nailing everything. ...collided
with an American Airlines flight near Reagan International Airport. There was a great
This is a tragedy.
deal of criticism and defense of DEI at the time, diversity, equity.
Yeah, okay, so for those of you that don't know this story, essentially there was a plane crash piloted by a DEI hire pilot. And apparently said DEI hire was told, hey, gotta move the plane. Didn't listen. And then told again by air traffic control. Froze up, didn't listen again. At least that's how the story goes. And then apparently 67 people were killed. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And realistically, realistically, it just kind of looks like Trump was right again. It's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Inclusion programs, a great deal of focus on the fact that the pilot here, the helicopter pilot in the Black Hawk, was a female.
Listen, there's a reason why stereotypes exist. I'm not trying to be rude here or anything, but there's a reason.
Lowback. Well, we now have more details on the crash, and it's been revealed that not only was the Black Hawk flying too high, but in the final seconds before the crash, the pilot failed to heed a directive from her co-pilot, an Army flight instructor, to change course.
It's such a tragedy.
As many speculated at the time, Josh, this looked like human error, an avoidable tragedy that's taken the lives of 67 people.
Look, obviously, there are some men that are bad pilots. There's women that are good pilots. There's everything in between. But the pilot said, "Hold my beer." Oh, my God.
So this was a truly horrific story. I was actually in Washington, D.C. when this happened. I was set to fly out of Reagan Airport, that very airport, less than 24 hours after the crash. My flight was delayed. And then when I finally got to the airport the next day for my delayed flight, it was quite harrowing, as you can imagine, pulling up to the airport and seeing the wreckage there with the sirens and the flashing lights in the Potomac River there. So this is a tragedy that I'm on a personal level, I'm not going to soon forget anytime soon there. But we do know a little bit more about what happened here. We do know that this was just a total, just great amalgamation of errors happening all.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. It is a tragedy, and there's no two ways about it. What is important to recognize is the fact that apparently air traffic controllers over the last couple of years had implemented into their doctrine of hiring people that they need DEI hires. They need to. I'm pretty sure United was out there patting themselves on the back that like, yo, whoa, we filled the quota of diversity hires. And it's like, that just means you have less talented people. Like, I don't understand. There was a policy in air traffic controls that they had to hire a certain amount of retarded people. I'm not even saying that as a joke. They actually had to hire people that were legally retarded or blind to fill specific quotas. They were hiring blind air traffic controllers. I've covered this in the past. We looked into this, but that's insane. You are putting people's lives at risk for your diversity shtick.
All at once, some person left early who was supposed to be there in flight control there. We, as you saw, what just happened here, the pilot just simply did not listen to her co-pilot there. I think the DEI is one of many factors to blame here. It seems like there are numerous factors there, but when it comes to something like this, Rita, something like when you're the pilot of a Black Hawk military helicopter, I'm sorry, there is literally one thing. There is one thing that I want to know that is happening there and choosing who is piloting that aircraft.
Excellence. That's the only thing you want. And you should not be trading off excellence for diversity. It makes no sense. You should get you want to know the best analogy of all time? The best analogy ever? 75% of the NBA is black. 75%. Let me ask you a question. Do you think if someone in the NBA was like, whoa, we need to implement a DEI strategy into the NBA. The National Basketball Association now needs to have 50% white guys and 50% black guys. Do you think that the average skill in the NBA would go up or would it go down? Obviously, the answer is it would go down because that's retarded. Duh, they get the best people. And statistically, black people are better at basketball, I guess. That's why 75% of the NBA is black. That's life, okay? That is basically what you're doing here. Yes, they would literally need to say, all right, guys, we need more shitty players on the team. It's like, imagine having a quota where every single NBA team needs to have one woman on it. Bro, women are not as good at basketball as men, statistically, okay? All right, can you imagine? Like, can you even imagine that, bro? So, it's ridiculous. It's insane. This whole DEI concept is literally trading off excellence for cringe diversity brownie points that makes you look inclusive and risk the lives of people on these aircrafts.
And that is who is the most skilled aviator possible. I don't give a crap.
Not you gonna get canceled? Let him try.
About literally anything else in the world. The same way that I don't give a crap about what your skin color is, if you are doing open heart surgery, if you are doing any task where public safety, anyone's health, safety is at rest there, literally the only thing I care about is how good you are. That is the entire notion of equal justice under the law,
Completely
of meritocracy.
true.
That is the bread and butter of Western civilization.
It's like they lowered standards in the military for specific people of diverse backgrounds. Like, what are you why would you lower standards? If you're of a diverse background and you can't compete, then leave. What are we talking about?
Itself. We lose that to our own peril. We forget that to our own peril. And frankly, with every tragedy like this, there's obviously a horrific loss of human life, and may their memories all be a blessing there. But every time that DEI contributes in some way to a tragedy like this, frankly, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, they're just licking their chops because they see these stupid Americans that are doing this, and they're literally causing death and destruction there, and our enemies are only emboldened and frankly laughing at us as a result of this.
Damn.
Well, we've got airlines, multiple airlines, that are pushing for these DEI policies. They want to have commercial airline pilots that are more reflective of society. They're overwhelmingly white and male at the moment, and there's been numerous articles on this, numerous programs that have been highlighted with different airlines, and what you just said is so true. I don't think there's a single person who flies who cares about the colour or the gender or the sexual orientation of who's in the
They
cockpit.
just need to be
just want
equally
to have
talented.
the best person for the job. And I would have thought airline pilots would be one area where you want to value meritocracy above all else.
Can you imagine if your surgeon walks into the room and it's like, oh, listen, I'm a DEI hire surgeon. I didn't do as well as the other guys in the class, but they let me pass anyway. They let me pass anyway because, well, you see, it's like, dude, what are you talking about? No. Put the scalpel down, brother.
Now, Josh, the lies against Donald Trump are getting ever more absurd. Now they're accusing him of disrespecting the late Pope and the Vatican by wearing a blue suit to Pope Francis'
Oh my God, we're going to be covering this in more detail. Don't worry.
funeral.
Oh, this is so funny. I love this. New lefty losing it moment. This is crazy.
The fake news here just spread like wildfire. It starts with this headline: the Vatican asked Pope Francis' funeral
attendee. This is from Fortune, all right? This is from like an actual official news network. The Vatican asked Pope Francis' funeral attendees to all wear black. Trump wore a blue suit. Look at him with his blue suit, surrounded by people in the black suits. Everyone listened to the dress code except for Orange Trump. He's the only one. They actually had the audacity to publish this, knowing it would reach the ears of so many people.
Wore a blue suit.
I mean, honestly, Dave Smith should be fired. They should be fired. Why should they be part of mainstream media when they'll just lie like this? Like, what's the point? What's the point of all this?
And this is the image they used with that story, carefully cropped.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to be covering this in more detail later.
Photo, deliberately hiding all the men in blue suits, including...
Yeah, look at this. They're all wearing blue suits. Half of them are in blue suits.
Including Prince William and all sorts of...
Oh, my God. Prince William's in a blue suit.
Other dignitaries. And as you can see in the wider shots...
This is the craziest part. But this guy obeyed the dress code? Really? Really? He obeyed the dress code?
These publications...
Did these people obey the dress code? They were told to wear all black suits, right? So did these people obey the dress code? What about these people? What about this fine woman or gentleman? I wouldn't know. Did this individual obey the dress code? Look, I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm just saying, if this is like a dress code problem, I really feel like Trump is not the one that broke the dress code.
Have gone out of their way to kind of mislead. And we've seen publications from the UK to the US, Josh.
Also, I don't think the Pope cared. That was dark. Moving on.
Spreading this fake news about Trump's blue suit.
I mean, look, I mean, Rita, I watch a lot of Donald Trump coverage over the years. I've seen him give many speeches. I've seen him give many White House Oval
What's bad about blue? There's nothing bad about blue. If they were requested to wear black suits, they should have worn black suits out of respect. All right, let's be honest. However, painting it like Trump is disrespectful, he's the only guy that wore a blue suit to stand out, like that is, it's malicious. It is malicious and evil, and it's a lie. Honestly, they should be sued for slander.
Interviews. I genuinely, as someone who pays actually fairly close attention to men's sartorial choices when they are in high positions, I actually genuinely struggle to think of a single instance when Donald Trump is actually wearing a black suit. I'm genuinely just like thinking out loud here with you in real time here. I feel like the guy's always wearing a blue suit. I mean, Trump's go.
I mean, again, I don't really think that's like a point. The point is, it's retarded to single him out when everyone's doing this.
To look, anyone who knows anything about Donald Trump's wardrobe, you know that he is known for wearing various shades of blue suits, and typically his go-to choice is the thick, bold, long red tie. That is Donald Trump 101. You want to go get a bobblehead doll in the toy store of Donald Trump, you're going to get a blue suit, red tie. That is the image. That's the magazine cover. That's who he is there. Now, he has a lot of blue suits. Now, he has various shades of blue suits there. There's lighter blue, there's darker blue, there's royal blue,
I really feel like
blue.
this is not necessarily...
I'm genuinely now thinking here...
Why is this the news? Why is this the news? India's like at war right now, bro. Why is this the news?
My mind is racing. I can't think of a single time where he wears like a jet black suit there. That's just not who he is. That's not his style there. And yes, I mean, to your broader point here, this obviously it's beyond silly. It's so trite. It's so done. No one cares for this. Literally no one cares for this. I mean, Fortune magazine there. I mean, how desperate...
I mean, no one cares, and it's a lie.
Can you get there? I mean, when you're...
Anything for Orange Man bad. That's literally it. That gets the clicks. That's it. That's what they needed.
Forced to run articles like this, really. When you're actually forced to run ridiculous headlines like this, the only logical conclusion that any consumer of the media can possibly reach is that you are out of luck because you are out of content, because you have nothing better to point to there. So you're forced to cavil about his choice of suit there. It's just so utterly absurd, Reed, but frankly, no one cares about this.
Yeah, no one cares.
It is absurd, but I tell you, yeah, it has an impact, particularly outside of the US, because the US, you do have...
Yeah, no one cares about this. Literally no one cares. And it's a lie, and the media's cooked, and you don't hate the media enough. All right, we've got to be getting to this Hasan segment at some point. Come on, Lefties losing it. Let's go.
A bit more diversity in the media, not as much as you would like to see, but there is counter narratives that are actually correcting some of this fake news. But
bro, it's crazy. The left is trying so hard to find content. They're like, all right, let's just crop Trump and make believe he's the only guy wearing a blue suit. We're out of content, bros. It's not fair.
In Australia and elsewhere in the world, it's almost all we get is just this relentless negative stuff, whether it's serious issues or trivial, like the colour of his suit at a funeral. Before you go, I want to get your opinion on this remarkable New York Times fluff piece that they've done on a character called Hasan Piker.
Bro, it is such a good day. It is such a good day. Oh my God, bro's getting the coverage he truly deserves. A bit of a roasting. I'm telling you, the Hasan Piker is effed franchise is truly history's greatest masterpiece. I'm telling you, they will speak of the what percent is Hasan effed franchise in the history books. I am popularizing this man's retardation.
Character they describe as a progressive mind in a MAGA body, because he works out. Apparently, that makes him a MAGA body, but he's as bad.
Yeah, essentially, he's saying that people that aren't MAGA are fat, sweaty losers. The only one of the not MAGA people that aren't fat, sweaty losers are this guy. I love how they didn't realize that they are literally insulting their own people. They are literally insulting them, bro. It's like, finally, a not fat, sweaty, retarded-looking leftist. Hasan Piker. It's like, dude, that's what they're basically saying. I can't believe Hamas Diddy Bin Laden Piker is truly being talked about on the mainstream. And I have to say, I'm glad that the talking points are truly becoming more popular.
As MAGA as I'm blonde, what he is, Josh, is virulently anti-Israel.
No, he's not just anti-Israel. He's pro-terrorist. Oh, dude, this clip is insane. I showed this in my previous video. I showed this when he called me out. So a lot of you don't know this. He actually called me out on this video. I just made a video talking about this. This is him calling me out. See, this is me in the corner. He's reacting to me. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. We love that. And this is essentially what he is saying here.
And also simultaneously a massive hater.
Right, he's talking about me. I'm a massive hater of Hasan. True, valid. I mean, yeah, I hate most people that support terrorism.
Yeah, it's a psychosexual obsession.
Then he says I have a psychosexual obsession with him, which is pretty awesome. I didn't think I had a psychosexual obsession with him, but apparently I do, according to him. Also, in other news, he calls me a pedophile in this video. I covered this again in the past. This is not the point. He's just out there. He's out there doing his thing, making sure the people know of, you know, just randomly borderline slandering people as much as he can. But he doesn't mention me by name. He says this guy, that guy a million times. He doesn't mention me by name. I am Blue Voldemort on Hasan's channel. He will never mention me by name, even when I am directly on the screen and he's talking about me and he's allegedly slandering me.
Zionist tendency should be treated.
Right, so, anywho, back to Hamas Piker.
Virulently anti-Israel.
Any kind of Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a rabid neo-Nazi.
Right, so this is him saying that anyone with any Zionist tendencies, for those of you unaware, he refers to Zionism as basically anyone that thinks that Israel has the right to exist. That is the bar for Hasan. If you think in any way that Israel has the right to exist, you should be treated in public like a neo-Nazi, according to Hasan. This is 90% of Jews. For those of you unaware, he just called 90% of Jews neo-Nazis. This is not difficult math. I mean, like, this guy's crazy.
And you shouldn't even let someone be the local dog catcher as Felix was posting.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic move by Hamas Piker over here. Also known for saying things like, there are baby settlers and they're valid military targets. Cool.
If they've ever exhibited any sort of like positive feelings about the state of Israel.
Oh, did he just exhibit a positive feeling about the state of Israel? Can't even be our dog catcher. Kill him in the street. Hell yeah, dude. That's Hamas Piker. As he goes there and shouts from the river to the sea, murder every Jew in Israel. Like he shouts all the time. It's awesome. He's a villain. He really is. I'm very excited for the 1000% cook video, and he's in jail or deported. It's gonna be great. We're gonna definitely do well. Listen, I'm always here to spread the gospel that this is the reason why I do this is A, it's very fun. B, he's very scared of me, which is very fun, which is similar to A. And C, and this is the most important of all of the things, this is the biggest leftist streamer on the planet. And he is out there shouting blatant violence, incitement of all sorts of terror. Also went to Diddy parties, suspiciously enough.
I'm so serious about this.
Josh, he has a hugely popular show.
You want to see what he did yesterday? All right, because it seems like they didn't show his clip from yesterday. You want to see his clip from yesterday? It's a good one. Check this one out, boys.
In all of the popularity that you get, there are going to be people that, for example, come to you and say, oh, I guess you love Hamas then. And in that moment, you can't fucking yield.
In that moment, don't yield. If someone asks you if you love Hamas, do not yield, bro. Just say with your whole chest, yeah, Hasan does love terrorists. He propagandizes his audience of 50,000 live viewers on his Twitch channel. This is blatant terrorist propaganda. Let me just remind you, people on Twitch get banned for calling other people fat, okay? That is enough to get someone banned on Twitch. You call someone fat, they will ban you, okay? He is blatantly doing terrorism propaganda on a gaming platform for children with terms of service that forbids this. He not only does he not get punished, but he's getting fluff pieces written about him because he's the only not retarded looking leftist according to New York Times. I didn't say that's what they said. I didn't say that. That's them. They're saying this. They're like, oh my god, a leftist that doesn't look like a retard? That's crazy. And then they went ahead with this.
Okay? And I feel like if push came to shove in that regard, AOC 100%, I can see her being like, no, I hate Hamas. Hamas is the most condemnable force on the planet.
True, good point. They are, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they murder their own people. They murder other people. They murder Jews. I think that every single civilian Palestinian that was killed over the course of this Israel-Gaza conflict, the reason why they were killed was because of Hamas starting this entire conflict, a war that they knew they could not win. Like, this is not big math. This is pretty obvious. Hamas shooting missiles from nurseries and daycares and hospitals. Yeah, obviously Israel's going to destroy the rocket launchers that launched 11,000 missiles into civilian cities over the last 10 years. Like, what are we even talking about? They are the main bad guys in this entire equation, and it's not even close.
Need to go away, and I will vote for every bill that says we need to kill more Hamas.
Yeah, there's no one worse for the Palestinians than Hamas. But anyway, go off, King.
That's what
Keep supporting your terrorists and promoting your violence. I don't think the news realizes how bad he is. Like, the news will be like, oh, he's just anti-Israel. The news doesn't go that extra step yet. We're making progress here on the How F Does Hasan Piker franchise. We are making progress. The news never used to even bring this up. They used to just call him out as that guy who had this one bad take a while ago where he said America deserved 9/11. Which, again, yeah, pretty bad take. So that's mostly what they've been doing until now. We are getting through. We are breaking in. We are breaking in. At this point, now at least they're saying he's virulently anti-Israel. All right, we need to go one further step. Terrorist supporter.
Afraid of. I'm afraid that she wouldn't dance around that and basically offer a major victory that basically says, yeah, I'm in the wrong and I'm sorry for ever criticizing Israel. And all of the
yeah, no, that's not at all the point of literally anything ever.
Show on Twitch where he unashamedly praises Houthi terrorists, spreads all sorts of Hamas propaganda.
True. Oh my God, we're breaking through, gamers. We are getting there.
He's getting fluff pieces in the New York Times. What is going on?
Of course he is, because who's the left gonna fluff up? What are they gonna do? Their entire movement got absolutely cooked by themselves. They cooked themselves. And now they're like, oh, Hasan Piker's famous. Let's put our eggs in that basket.
Going on.
Let's ignore the blatant terrorist propaganda, all right? Let's just, hell yeah, dude.
Well, I think what's going on is exactly what it looks like, which is that someone who has literally made a name for himself as an apologist for Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, various other.
That's someone that watches the How F Does Hasan Piker franchise. Oh my God, it's working. It's working.
U.S. recognized foreign terrorist organizations. I mean, this is the guy who is now getting, you know, the page A1 full spread treatment from the New York Times, an organization that was.
Yeah, please actually put more spotlights on Hasan Piker. I actually think you should be putting more spotlights on him. The more spotlights on him, the more people will notice the How F Does Hasan Piker franchise. The more people that do that, the more people will talk about him. The more people that talk about him, the sooner Kash Patel gets involved in the How F Does Hasan Piker franchise.
Probably best known for burying coverage of the Holocaust back towards the back of the paper for 3, 4, 5 years during World War II. The New York Times has a long and deeply inglorious track record when it comes to these particular issues. This particular individual, Hasan Piker, is so toxic that after AOC, of all people, went on his show one point last year, she kind of did a quasi mea culpa when she was asked about it. She was like, oh, I didn't know his views were actually that radical.
Nice try. Nice try. Ain't gonna work.
So, I mean, this guy...
Not anymore. Because of the How F Does Hasan Piker franchise, no one will ever have that excuse again. No one will have the excuse to say, I didn't know he was that radical. Liar. You type his name into YouTube and you will find out exactly how radical he is. You don't have this excuse anymore.
Really made a name for himself there. So for him to get the full New York Times treatment there, that says a lot, frankly, about the New York Times. But for those of us who pay close attention there, this tragically is what the New York Times has been for a very long time.
It is incredible.
True. Yeah, there's a whole cesspool of like awful news. The news is so cooked. The media is like literally murdering itself every time they publish one of these articles. It's like anyone that knows anything has no respect for the New York Times right now.
You cannot imagine something happening with someone like that from the right side of politics. Can you imagine one spreading the sort of stuff he spreads, getting a cover like that? Incredible. Josh Hammer, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, speaking of terrible news organizations, this is a recent BBC article from today, or yesterday rather. We'll burn Jews like Hitler did, says BBC's reporter. Woo! Let's go! News organizations cooking every day. Let's go! Thanks for joining today's episode of Lefties Have 100% Lost It. I appreciate you immensely. They have, in fact, 100% lost it. Very much lost. It's a good time. It's a good day. Shout out to retards. They keep the content interesting. Katy Perry meltdowns. DEI hires. Hamas Piker. It's been a day and a half. See you in the next one, gamers. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.